Travis, good to see you.
Yeah, man, good to be seen. How you doing?
It's been too long.
I mean, it's been a minute. You know, I don't do a bunch of interviews because I'm usually traveling.
Yeah.
You know, Mark and Tom will like fly to the next spot, but I'm usually still like bussing it.
They love it too, man. They always tell me like, yeah, we just love doing the interview. I'm joking.
No.
Fresh from Reading and Leeds, we're going to talk about all that. We're going to talk about the future with the band. I want to talk about your music. I want to talk about, you know, you're so busy. So let's talk about Reading and Leeds first, man.
Cool.
I mean, coming back out here and headlining a festival like that, and I said this to Mark and Tom, I mean, we're all in a privileged position to have you guys still making music, but you must be aware of the privilege that so many of your peers don't last that long. You get to come back and headline Reading and Leeds for the second time.
Yeah, I mean, without like new music out, it's kind of a trip. Yeah,
amazing.
I mean, it's crazy, but we have such a cool, loyal fan base out here, and it's just like rock music is still alive out here. You know, where I feel like in the States, it's like rest in peace. It's a wrap. You know,
for now, and
yeah,
you know,
for now, or you know, there's still like, I mean, don't get me wrong. In the States, we have our cult following. You know, we still have like an angst and like an energy, and it's still like high energy. Whereas like I think a lot of the rock music that was popular during those years where rock kind of took a backseat was kind of lacking like nuts. You know, it had
flat.
no balls.
For
yeah,
sure,
it was like
was.
It didn't really stand for anything. It was just might as well have been pop records.
You just said it. It didn't stand for anything, and I think there's always that thing like, you know, is it good? Are they saying anything?
Yeah, to me, whether you're a person or a band, you got to stand for something.
Yeah.
I think that's like. Those are the people or musicians or bands that really break through.
How hard are you guys on yourself, just focusing on Blink for a second, how hard are you guys on yourself when it comes to regrouping to make new music? Because making music is supposed to be fun, right?
Yeah.
But are you saying anything? Like, do you ask those questions to each other? Do you say, do we have anything to say right now? Can we make an album? Is there something in the tank?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't recorded for a minute, you know, but I think when we do record, you know, for our self-titled album, it was kind of like, I remember showing up to the studio and just saying like, let's just make the record we want to make. Don't like forget about what we did in the past. Forget about what's popular. Just do what naturally, organically comes out, like the stuff that we're really, really into. You know, without obviously losing yourself. But you know, any of the projects that I'm in, you know, like Transplants or whatever projects I do or whatever, it all stands for something. You know, the music means something, and I think those are the ones that really, really resonate with fans.
When you think about making music with Blink now and coming back together and playing these shows, and like I said, I think we feel pretty fortunate as fans of your band that this is happening because it really wasn't on the cards for quite some time. Do you see changes in each other in the way that you relate to each other as age and as experience, as priorities change, you become family men, everything else like that? Or can you still connect in a way that you used to when you were making music, you know, much younger?
No, I think like when you're on stage and it's us three up there and we're playing music and we're in the midst of a set, like all that, there's none of that stuff really on there. You know what I mean? Whether we're married or single, whether we've had kids, you know what I mean? Nothing matters because it's us three, you know? And same thing goes like when we get in the studio. And I think anything we've done musically, like side projects, all that stuff helps because it's like, we just build, you know, you just learn, man, no matter what music you do outside of the band, like it's all a learning process and it just makes us better musicians when we do regroup, you know?
So we spoke to Mark and Tom briefly about prospects of going in and making a record, and Tom was pretty keen to just kind of set up and let it happen pretty organically.
Yeah.
And I guess that the aim is to do that soonish when you get back.
Yeah, I think it's like November or December.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Do you have songs?
No, I think we all have ideas. I mean, that's how it always happens. You know, we could go in the studio and we all just kind of get in there and start the creative process, start molding it to, you know, fit.
You were also busy during that hiatus, and much has happened since it, and it's long water under the bridge. But I never had a chance to talk to you and ask you, you know, did you miss Blink? Because I know you were busy. Did you miss it? Was it something that you felt was missing in your life, or did it come around when it happened for you?
Nah, at the time, for me, it was this great, like, weight lifted off my shoulders. Like, Blink had broke up, and I was kind of so sick of being in a band. I was like, man, it sucks, like, it's like having two girlfriends.
It's like, man, it's
you know
major
what I mean?
compromise.
And
it
I was
is,
like,
yeah.
I just want to be free, and I want to enjoy not being in a band no more. And that's when I started playing with AM.
Yeah.
And with DJ AM and I, we had broke through. Like, we had kicked down doors no one kicked down. Like, it was drummer and DJ, and we were...
Oh, man, I saw you guys at Coachella, and it blew my mind.
Oh, awesome.
It
You were there.
blew my mind.
See, stuff like that. Like, we were like, you know, we headlined like the Sahara tent at Coachella, and we were having a blast. Like, we would play for hours, rehearsing and coming up with routines. So, I mean, I love Blink, but at that time, I did not miss it. So for me, AM and I was like playing with like my brother, like a best friend, and we were just doing something new and innovative and creative, and it was just the two of us. So
I never got to know him, and it really bums me out.
Oh, man, I can't say enough great things about him.
You guys were at the start of something. I mean, you really must recognize now in the times you allow yourself to reflect, which is important when you think about your friends who are no longer around, your family, you know?
Yeah.
That you were a cornerstone to what is happening in America now with dance music.
Yeah.
And AM made it possible for all of us to play across the board in many respects.
I mean, it was 10 years ago, and we were playing, you know, EDM music, like Glitch Mob, and it was just stuff, everything that's popular now. He called it way early. I remember when we did our Coachella set, like, we had flipped everything, and we were both listening to like a lot of new stuff, and it was just, he was just so ahead of the curve, man. And he was so good about, you know, blending genres, and he was awesome, man.
He was fearless, man.
Yeah.
He was fearless.
He was incredible.
No question. Travis Barker, it's great to see you. There's so much to talk about. We're not done. I want to talk about what's going on with your solo stuff. And I know you've got a priority now to work on the Blink record, and you grab those moments when they come. You got to grab those moments.
Yeah.
But you're always working. You're always creating. What else is on the agenda?
You know, I started on like what will be the beginning of my solo album, my follow-up to Give the Drummer Some.
Yeah.
So I have like a record that I'm doing with Chris Brown and Tyga.
Yeah.
I got some stuff with Killer Mike and LP, like Run the Jewels.
Yeah.
Stuff with Problem. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Problem.
Yeah, we know about Problem.
Problem and Bad Luck. I got a bunch of records that I just started working on. So,
is there anyone on the wish list that you just really, we want to put it out there? You want to plant the seed and put it out there, visualize it a bit right now?
You know, with my first album, I got that all out of my system. It was like I worked with everybody, you know, from like RZA to Wayne to Rick Ross, Game. I just basically reached out to friends because at that time, you know, once again, Blink wasn't happening. So I was either playing with AM or, you know, I'd do like Jay Leno with T.I. or Too Short. So I was doing like television performances, and then in return, they would say like, yo, I'm going to give you a verse on your album.
Crazy.
So I just kind of did it like that. And that first album, I got to work with everybody I loved and I grew up on.
I think we actually laughed out loud when we read the list out from memory a few years back on Radio 1. We went through the whole list of people that were on your record, and then we all stopped and sort of looked at each other and cracked up laughing because it was just like...
It was incredible, and it was such a cool experience.
Everyone else just needs to fall back and put their address book away for a while because it's just no point.
Yeah, so it's part 2, you know, and I'm just going to take it slow. You know, when Blink starts working, Blink will be the priority, but I'm going to finish my second solo album, and Transplants are doing like a covers album.
Let's stop and talk about that.
Yeah.
Because I love that band.
Awesome.
You know, and, you know, everything you've ever done with them, I've been a fan of, and I love the energy, and I love the fact that it feels kind of like it's very hybrid. It's not just a straight punk rock thing. It's not just a straight rock thing or hip hop thing or dance thing. It's very kind of all of it.
Yeah, it's
once.
like very punk rock as far as the way the band works.
Yeah.
But we all love all genres.
Yeah.
You know? So
what kind of covers are you approaching about on that?
Man, we've done everything from like Joan Jett covers to like Crass and Blitz covers, which people would expect, you know, like old school punk rock. We did a Beasties cover.
Which one?
We did Gratitude.
Sick.
Yeah, it's been so cool. What we have is every week we have something called Transplants Tuesdays, where Tim, Rob, and I, we just get together and someone will throw out a cover, and within an hour we've recorded the cover and we're finished. And the next Tuesday it's like, you know, so I think we have like 8 or 9 songs, and we're probably gonna record like 17 and then figure out which ones we'll put on the album.
What a life, man.
Yeah,
I mean, I know you've been through your ups and your downs, bro. You've lived a life, but I mean, to be in a situation now at this point and just be able to apply yourself creatively to these things that motivate you, and also to maintain relationships.
Yeah.
And is that one of the things that you really feel you've learned in life is through all of the success and all of the highs and lows, that actually the friendships and the relationships that you're able to maintain is kind of what it's all about?
Oh, yeah, man. Like Tim and Rob have been like my brothers, you know, basically just as long as Mark and Tom. And you know, wild things come up. You know, like about a month ago, Tim Armstrong hit me up. He's like, yo, you know, Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers wants to get together, and we figured us three will just jam on Fridays, just see what happens. So
that leaves you 3 days of the week to find a few other things to do.
Yeah. So we've been playing reggae. Like every Friday we record ourselves.
Flea Fridays, right?
Yeah,
Flea
basically
Fridays.
Flea Fridays.
Right.
And we record like 6 hours of reggae. And there's no real
wait, is this a job? What's going on here?
Yeah, so we do that for hours, and there's no real destination. We don't know what's going to happen with it. We just have fun, you know, and just play music. So yeah, man, it's all about just being creative and enjoying, you know, playing music with friends.
A lot's happened since we've last saw each other. I became a family man as well. I mean, are your kids into music? Are they,
yes,
yeah,
absolutely. And congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you, man. Thanks.
Yeah, both of my kids, I kind of told them, you know, I have a 15-year-old daughter, an 8-year-old daughter, and a 10-year-old son, and they all play drums. I told them, you know, you don't have to be
that's wild,
Buddy Rich or like as crazy as dad or anything, but if someone hands you sticks, you need to know how to play.
Yeah, because you're representing the Barker. This is Barker Inc.
So my little girl can even sit down. Like she plays Iggy Azalea songs on the drums.
Crazy.
Like that's her thing. You know, Landon's into. He's very much like me. He's into punk rock and hip hop. He loves both of them, you know, and he's very seasoned. You know, he'll hop up at transplant shows and sing a song. Like, it's pretty cool. You know, they're rock and roll kids. I let them tour with me. I want them to see every side of everything. You know, like
what is it if you can't share it?
Yeah, and you know, I don't want them to ever get it twisted. And you know, if I didn't tour with them, they just think it's all glamour and lights. But you know, they see like. They'll come in and go, what are you practicing for, Dad? Like, what do you have coming up? And I'll be like, there's nothing this week. I'm just practicing because I want to be good and I want to like learn more or whatever. So they get the work ethic that's involved that comes with it too, which is cool.
You've got it sorted, man. And, you know, I'm glad it's been a while since we've seen each other because you seem so well and right on. And I just think it's wicked, man. And in the time since I've last seen you, you know, it's all going as it should.
Yeah, well, thank you very much, man.
Great to see you.